Come here, son, nephew, young man. Let me holler at you. I didn't do any type of precursor to this. I got some spare time on my hand, and I doubt seriously on a Saturday anybody's going to join this live stream. So you'll probably be seeing a recording. But this is something that I'm quite sure that other men are going through. I also don't know how this looks, being that I'm in the boondocks in the, in the middle of a part of Louisiana you call the North Shore. There's a big Lake Pontchartrain, that's kind of between the North Shore and New Orleans. For 23 miles, continue straight on. Hush, woman. Sorry about that. Siri up there trying to overtalk the camera. So anyway, I got a little spare time on my hands because normally on the Saturdays when I go to pick my son up, I have a 45-minute ride. So what ended up happening, and I need an alignment on my truck. I do a lot of driving. The places I go have the worst potholes and roads ever. So you may hear interference in the background. If it's like that, then I may just have to remake this video. We'll see. Let's see. And I'm getting used to this StreamYard deal as well. I don't even know how to make this banner go away on the side of here. Anyway, I'll figure it out over time. I would like to be able to see comments or whatever should somebody join in, but oh well, I'll figure that out later. So here's the deal. It's normally my son's getting older. Let's go back to the basics of what's happening when you're dealing with a narcissist. These people have control issues. So maybe it's that they had something traumatizing happen to them as a child, or something made them feel like very uncomfortable in their childhood that they could not control. I could tell you with one of my ex-wives, and I didn't know anything about this as a kid. That's why I feel like it's a blessing if you are watching this channel. Dang it, I need to be able to know if y'all can hear me or not and what the internet connection is like. If somebody's on there watching and you can make a comment and let me know if you can't hear me. And if not, I'll try to make adjustments, but if not, I'll just have to reshoot this video. Anyhow, these people have control issues, right? And sometimes they're self-aware. Most of the time, they're not aware that they have serious issues to the point of mental instability. And most of these people are undiagnosed. And I need to do a video on showing you how to spot these people. So what ends up happening when you're dealing with a narcissist, because you're an empath and you try to work with these people, the whole time they're really manipulating you and controlling you. You don't realize it because you're just generally a good person. And they view everybody, instead of like a person, you're more like an object to them. Almost like a toy or a utility. And you can be they can either view you in the light of being a good utility that is participating in their program, or a bad utility that goes on the shelf, kind of like a coin with a green side and a red side, or something of that nature. And what I've noticed is this: when their grip of control on you starts to break, when you start to realize, wait a minute, this person isn't what they thought they are, what I thought they are. They're playing some mind games. As the game starts to break and you realize you're being manipulated, or you're dealing with somebody who's got mental issues, and you start to break away, it's almost like in the Bible when Satan says, or when Satan knows his time is coming near to an end in the book of Revelation. He starts trying to destroy everything that he can. Well, see, one of my kids is almost grown. So I'm going to give you some things I've learned about dealing with one of these types of co-parents, or dealing with a woman who's trying to see if she can make your life hell. The first thing is, these type of people, if they can make your life hell, they will. And I made a video yesterday about perspective. So perspective and perception. You choose how you deal with a situation and how you respond to it. When these people see that they're doing something that gets under your skin, they will keep poking and prodding. You see, you have to learn to be stoic, and you have to learn to just say, okay, I'm going to roll with the punches with this situation. And I won't be able to summarize these. I have to come back to them later. Maybe I can make a list, but my life is busy. I may not have time. So you may want to take notes if the subject matter interests you. So, matter of fact, you know what? I am going to type notes. I'll type quick notes so I can summarize towards the end. Because this is all on a whim. I didn't plan making this video. But see, I found something productive to do with this extra time that I've been given. And I'll tell you what that means. So the first thing is, you don't show reactions with these people. So let's see. Dealing with narcissistic ex-wives. So what she did today, or recently, about 3 days ago, she'll violate the visitation schedule whenever she feels like, right? So she went to court and asked for the first week of the summer vacation for my son. That's interesting. I didn't ask this thing to record what I'm saying. The note app is recording everything I'm saying. Anyway, usually there's a pickup point. There's a pickup point where she asked for the judge to try to make it like I'm being violent towards her or something like that. I have a 100% clean criminal record. I couldn't do the type of work I do or the type of contracting I participate in on behalf of my family if I was some type of criminal. But you know, they'll play these types of games in court. They'll play innocent, and they'll make you the victim. They can cry at the snap of a finger. She violates the timing on when I pick my son up, and she just chooses a random day, and she's like, if you don't pick him up here at this time, then you got to pick him up way out of the way. So number one, I've learned, don't react to these people. Don't overreact. Don't get emotional with it. Because if they see that, they'll poke and pry with that situation, and they'll keep on trying to make you overreact. So I did. She kept going back and forth through my son because at one point she could manipulate him. He's become better at not being manipulated. So he's telling me she wants me to pick him up at this time, and she's making her. I didn't respond to him. I told him because my day has a schedule. I got a routine that I go through on most days, and I told him, look, me and you will talk about this later. So she kept giving him messages to send me and this and that and the other. Me and him are going to talk about that because I'm going to let him know, look, I'm saying what I got to say, tell you what needs to be done, and then I got to move on, bro. I'm not going back and forth with your mother. So her last message was, well, okay, I can meet you at that time. Then she tells him to tell me to call her. Like the phone doesn't work both ways. See, that's these control issues going haywire because now she can't control the fact that I'm not going back and forth with her. She doesn't know how to process that. That bothers these people when they can't control everything. So eventually I call my son when I'm doing what I need to do. So number two, move at your own pace. Don't let these people dictate to you when and where you're going to move and how you're going to move. Now, with a younger child, I would say, no, not even with a younger child. You got to see if these people can make you be uncomfortable. Can you hear me, Landon? Or London, excuse me. Are you able to hear me? Oh, we can hear. Okay, good. All right, great. Thank you, London. All right, so when you're dealing with these type of people, they'll try to mess up your scheduling and how you operate. Don't let them do that. So if you don't know, I've been married twice. With the first one, my son's getting older. She doesn't play as many games. With the younger one, or with the second ex-wife, to I've learned to let them think they're winning because a battle of words means nothing. Arguing back and forth with these people means nothing. They don't have any. They don't have any emotions. They are non-empathetic. You're not a person to them. You're an object. So is your child. A child is an object that they're using to inconvenience you, and you're a tool for them to play. So number one, don't respond to the mind games. Don't get over emotional or anything like that. Two, don't let them play games with your time. So anyway, and I shouldn't have gave my son the option. He and I are going to have a talk because I should have told him, look, dude, I can pick you up in the city that you live in because he's old enough to get up and walk out the door when it's time for his dad to pick him up. But okay, whatever. He's trying to keep things peaceful at his mom's house. So she said, hey, you pick him up at this location when I demand, or you can pick him up way out of the way on Saturday. So you know what I'm doing today? I'm just driving a little bit out of the way. And I'm going to let my son know, hey, man, you know your dad loves you. But if you're going to agree to let this kind of stuff happen and you participate in it, and I got to go that far out of my way. See, there's another combination of things going on where my son basically has to start learning the consequences for his actions and when he makes bad decisions. And I'm going to make another video about that later. But right now, we're dealing with this ex-wife of mine. So, number one, don't get emotional with these people. Don't overreact. Number two, don't let them play with your time. Three, no contact is the best thing that you can do with these people. The less you contact them, the better. Now, as your child gets older, see, when you do the no contact and they don't have you as a source of emotional fuel, because they get some type of weird satisfaction out of being able to play with you. So you don't give them that satisfaction. You don't give them that satisfaction. You don't give in to, they want you to argue. They want you to send text messages like, what the hell is wrong with you? Why are you acting like this? They want you to cuss. They want you to fuss. They really would love for you to show up at their house and do something illegal so they can send you to jail or something like that. And you don't give in to any of that. You just keep on living. But since this is involving your child, the only thing that really matters is what happens in court. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, man. You might think that getting a bunch of evidence together and going to court is going to be fair. It's not. Them judges want to hurry up and get out of it. If you fight for custody of your child in Louisiana, I can tell you what you're going to get darn near automatic. You'll get every other weekend. You'll get every other holiday. And if it's a boy, you'll get the whole summer. And if it's a female, it's a girl, you'll get probably every other week. And that ain't bad. And here's the other thing. You use whatever you're given to your advantage. Whatever's presented to you, use it to your advantage. So right now, I got time to get on StreamYard and learn StreamYard. I can listen to a podcast. My son is going to do the lawn work today. I'm going to sit back because I'm doing all this extra driving, and a 1.5 hour round trip is turned into 3. Okay, no problem. I'm using all of that to my advantage. I'm not going to let it ruin my day. I got up a little bit earlier so I can get back to city I live in at a certain time, so my day can still be productive. Um, uh, I'm, I'm gonna take a chick out on a date later, like a little lunch date or something like that. I'm gonna still have a good day no matter what. So number three, use things to your advantage that's given to you. Number one, don't overreact. Number two, as little contact as possible. Three, I'm gonna say find positives in all the situation. Four, use the inconvenience to your advantage. So, for example, if your child is not seeing you, that's time that you can be using to up your revenue and to come up with a working legal strategy. You're not going to get full custody. I know a guy whose child's mother is a meth head, and a dude she was dating tried to shoot this guy, and she still has full custody of that child. And he somehow he got full custody. Then they took it back. Then they gave her full custody. And now it's back at joint custody again. But this lady's on meth. She's been in jail. You can look at her because when I met her, she looks like a whole different human being. And once she started dealing with that doggone meth, and this guy's got every piece of evidence that you could imagine, and he's not going to get full custody of that child. Understand what it is, accept it for what it is. Yeah, that too. Accept it for what it is and make adjustments accordingly. All right, now you're not going to get full custody. So what you can do, you'll get joint custody if you try. Now, when the custody arrangement gets violated, which I have evidence of in both of these cases, but I've learned these laws and I learned what actually is realistic and what's not. When I go to court, here's what the judge wants. The judge has got his mind or her mind made up already. They're going to say, boom, judgment in favor of whoever. So if you go to court as a man and you fight for custody, you'll get joint custody. They actually want you to have joint custody. Why? They want you to pay the child support. I'm going to give you another piece of advice. See, if you're paying the child support, they ain't going to lock you up, even if you can't pay it all. Just pay something. Sometimes they'll mess up the amounts. Yeah, like if you switch jobs or something like that, because they're trying to figure out where you are and there's paperwork. And right now, local governments are they're short staffed. So stuff like that's gonna happen. Don't worry about that. I'm gonna tell you like one of my homeboys told me. He said, Renaissance man, look, let them people take that money out. See, this when I was in my 20s, the first time this happened. I was mad. How could this happen? I've been a good husband, this, that, and the other. Said, I understand, get it all out. So he let me vent for about 30 minutes. He said, okay, I've been through what you're going through. Let them people take that little money out your check, live your life, and you'll forget that it's even happening in about 2 months. And I'll be doggone, he was right. So you just learn to live with what you're making. Now, you can control other things that you do. They do at least in Louisiana, they review the cases every 3 years if you request it. So you study the laws, you learn what you need to do to protect yourself. Um, it behooves you for your family to have a corporate structure, and then that way you can go into court with the documentation that you need to make sure the right thing happens. You get with your lawyer on that. They can explain more of that to you because I still have open cases on this stuff, so I'm not gonna tell too much. But I do pay my child support. and I love both my ex-wives because I know they peek in here every now and then. Hey, ladies, how y'all doing? They hate me so bad, but they won't change their last names. By the way, they won't get them last names up. But okay. Um. So let's recap. Dealing with a narcissistic ex-wife. Number one, trying to get you to overreact. That's a control mechanism. These people have control issues. Two, make as little contact as possible. Now, I know some dudes be liking to go back and, be trying to halfway be in relationships and situationships and having sex with these chicks. I don't do that. I'm old school. So once it's over, it's over. Find positives in all these situations. Right now, I've been inconvenienced to drive farther than I have to at a time when I didn't choose to pick up my son. I'm gonna do it anyway. This is about my son, not about that woman. And by the way, over time, you do have to let your kids know, hey, don't do things, don't participate in that. Understand what it is and don't participate in it. And sometimes if your kid is participating, you might have to give your kid a little bit of space. Okay. See, that parent's not as good a parent as you. I guarantee you, man. You're dealing with a narcissistic ex-wife, they may have periods of time when they give your kid a lot of playtime and a lot of fun time. So your kid's looking at you like, man, Dad, we always working. You always being hard on me and stuff like that. Okay. But see, you're more responsible and you're more involved. They may have a season where they were like, hey, they feel like they want to go play. I don't want to do all this hard stuff all the time. That's okay. See, like my son, he wants to do, he's getting lazy with his football. He doesn't want to train. He doesn't want to watch film studies. He doesn't want to go to his trainer. He just wants to participate. I told him, I ain't invested if you just participate. Then he missed his spring game, hollering about he wanted to go to a graduation for his cousin. I'm like, dude, you got a mission. You got a purpose. You chose that. But I said, okay, no problem. You and your mama can take care of all the fees for football, all the equipment. She can take you to practice. I'm just going to throw it away and they put you on the bench. Okay. And your grandma will come to maybe 1 or 2 games. And if we see your tail on the bench, we ain't coming to no more. So 1 or 2 things are going to happen. He's going to get serious about football or he's going to get out of it. But see, she ain't finna, he's going to be missing practice and be late. She's going to be buying him low quality gear and all kinds of stuff. He going to learn because I got to start letting him learn to pay consequences for his actions and for his mistakes. I've sheltered him a little bit too much. Okay. So we're going to let a natural correction occur. You can't coddle a boy. You spare the ride, you spoil the child. So I done spared the ride these last couple of years. I'm going to let him learn that that's not in his best interest. Anyway, during this extra trip, it's an extra hour and a half. Am I human? Does it make me upset? It did at first, but I'm like, look, I'll be back home in no time. Since he says we usually do yard work together, he's going to do all the yard work. I'm going to continue to ignore her because she demanded that I call her the other night. See, that's a little bit of game. I guess I don't like it, but you do have to know how to use game on people when they're trying to run game on you. Little reverse psychology. She's demanding that I call her, so I guess she's thinking I'm a beg for her to pick him up at a certain time, and she's gonna try. I don't know what she wants, and I don't want to talk to her ass. I don't need to. I'm not going to. For what? You had almost 10 years of marriage. I got out at year 10, so I ain't have to pay no alimony. You need to learn them laws if you're going to do it. And as I've suggested on my YouTube channel before, you don't have to do a marriage with the state. You can do what's called you can do a personal marriage contract. And that's not the right word. It's not personal. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on such an important thing. Private marriage contract. And you can dictate your terms. And you can dictate what happens if you separate too. I didn't know that when I was a kid. I know it now. I'm not against remarriage, but you just be careful and protect yourself. So at the end of the day, almost grown. Now where he's gonna learn, and I've told him this, I've told him to prepare himself. Look, bro, you get grown and she don't get that child support check, she ain't gonna fool with you like that. And I know he wants to see the best in his mother. A man has the desire to be a protector and provider, but a man also wants to be loved by his mother. And then if you're a God-fearing man, it's in you to honor your mother and father. Okay, cool. That's his mom. I've never stopped him from trying to spend time with his mom or with his mom's people. I don't care for him, but that ain't my business. That's not my job to try to stop him from seeing his people. That's, if his mom wants to try stop me from seeing him or make it difficult, hey, I'm not worried about that because I've learned this much. You endure to the end. People show themselves, people reveal themselves. Wicked people mess themselves up. God is real. And when he says, peace be still, and when he says, vengeance is mine, you ain't got to worry about that. These people be miserable. You learn things. You improve yourself. They mess themselves up in the future. It comes full circle. And I got some gray hair, and I've been doing this a while, but I hope if you're a young man out there who has a child's mother or an ex-wife who's a narcissist, that you understand in the end, if you just do what you're supposed to do as a man, keep improving, one day that stuff will be over and you can look back and laugh. And one day you ain't got to see that woman ever again. The day my son graduates, I'm blocking everything and I'm going completely no contact. See, right now she can communicate through him, but that has no effect on me because I don't let it have an effect on me. That's yet another reason at the end of my videos I say never lose the will to win, never lose the will to survive. So I'm about to get off of here because I'm about to pick my son up. Because see, this sitting here talking to y'all and making this video, and for whoever sees the replay, y'all made my time better in this what was supposed to be an inconvenient drive. And now time has passed like nothing. Um, so let me recap for anybody or for the one person watching or whoever, because I didn't announce this thing. Nobody knew I was going live. So for the one person viewing and anybody who comes back on the replay, you're dealing with your narcissistic ex-wife or baby mama. One, don't overreact when they play them games. Smile, nod, don't smile, don't nod. You can send text if you want to. Control the situation as much as you can. She's going to play games with you. No way around that if she's like that. If she's a narcissist, she's going to play games. She's going to try to make your life inconvenient. Already know this. Don't don't overreact. Don't give in to that. They want that. Two, maintain as little contact as possible. Talk about the kid, only the kid, get to the point, and be done with it. Don't sit there going back and forth with that person. Don't argue with them. It's always a positive. You have your kid less, that's time you could be improving yourself as a man and preparing your legal defense for when you are ready to make adjustments. And take your time, play chess. Think moves ahead, look back at your previous moves to make sure that there isn't anything you can be improving. Use the inconvenience to your advantage. There's always a positive. Find whatever it is that's positive and you move forward with that. And five, accept it for what it is and you make your adjustments accordingly. Don't try to rationalize with an irrational person. That is not to your benefit. This person is not looking for a solution. This person is looking to make your life miserable. Don't be miserable. You're welcome to hit the like button. You're welcome to subscribe to the channel. I know there's young men struggling with this, and even men my age too. It ain't the end of the world, and it will end one day, and your child will be grown eventually. And you do have situations where the children decide, okay, I'd rather be with this parent or with my dad. Make sure that that's actually what they want and look at that towards 15 or 16, because at 12 and 13, they may still be wishy-washy. Um, you're welcome to leave any comments on the replay. You're welcome to subscribe to the channel. If you find the content useful, be a man. Stay a man. Don't let anything keep you from being the man that God wants you to be and the man that you're destined to be. And as always, never lose the will to win, never lose the will to survive.